Welcome, Terry Lynn, traveling artista. A friend of mine took a beautiful photograph, a close-up of his cat's eye. And when I saw that, it just inspired me. The layers and the depth and the colors that are in this photograph, I want to try to interpret that on a pastel painting. I'm going to keep it very loose and fairly simple, but hopefully it will be inspired and exciting. Come adventure with me. So I compare the angles to the horizontal and the vertical and the horizontal lines of the image, so I can see approximately. My instinct is want to try to get this and make it even larger, but by measuring first and just laying in the angles of the lines, I hope you can see that. Yes, you can. That will help keep me on track. That's the edge of the iris. And then where is that pupil? It's right about here. So you can see I'm just lightly measuring and double checking. That's why I'm not moving too quickly at this point, because I want to be sure I'm in the right place. How far up is the bottom of that pupil in comparison to this lid here? How wide is it? Keeping it dark. The paper I am using is UArt 500, but it's been repurposed. I had a painting on here before and wasn't totally pleased, and I waited and I examined it, and after a while I just decided, no, not that good. So I repurposed it by just wiping off the extra pastel, saving that so I can reconstitute it into new pastel sticks, and then taking some alcohol, spray on the alcohol, wash it down, and blend that into the background. It creates a beautiful dark that's not just a flat black. It has texture and color in it. Do not forget to step back every now and then. We need to step back and double check our measurements and our overall image at all times. There's a lot of white here in the fur. I'm going to have to be careful when I get to this white fur here that it doesn't take away the spotlight from this eye. Here's the edge of the nose, a couple little angles here. They're constantly changing. It's not just a simple little flat angle. There's always shape. There's concavity and convexity, if those are words. Anyway, look for those concave elements and the convex elements as we're going along. This will just help me indicate where that's coming in. I think I have pretty much the layout that I want. I am now double checking, a little smaller in this corner of the eye. Double checking here. Shadow. There's going to be a difference with the eyelid where it's casting a shadow across the eye and where it's going into the fur. The other thing is this is an eyeball. This is a sphere inside the skin. So you constantly, the eyeball is about this large. And that's how we get the circles under our eyes and where our eyebrows go. And even in a cat, you want to keep that in mind. So you're always thinking it curves around this way and it comes out toward us. And that's going to help us with the highlights and the whole three-dimensional shape of that eye. Take a step back and double check. My next point is I'm going to go next into some pan pastels, and I'm going to lay these in quickly to lay in some large areas of color, and then I will start developing more details as we go along. I'm also going to be using some Caran d'Ache and Prismacolor pencils, because these are a little harder pencil than the soft pastel sticks, and they are also not as intense. So the intensity is not there as I'm laying in color and getting my feeling of light and dark as I work on top. Then, as I finish, I can use those bright, intense sticks, the soft sticks, the ones with the intense color as I finish this up. I'm going to go into a time lapse now, so we'll move right along quickly. Once I have the composition and the form down, I can start bringing in light and fur. Here I'm using pan pastel with a sponge, and each stroke helps define the fur and the direction that it's flowing in. Then I can use my pastel pencils as a harder, less intense color in certain areas. That way I can build softer and more intense colors on top. My focus here is the three-dimensionality of that eye and the fact that all the colors inside it are floating within the fluid and layering one on top of the other in transparency and combinations that just are fascinating. One color layered over another, through another, and then you want to pop out the iris. That's the color. And then the pupil is a little bit darker. This one has a hint of blue because this is an older cat with a light cataract. And the final touch is the highlight that sits on the top of the cornea and the little highlights of the tears that float around the edge of the eye. Think about these things as you're painting. Find a photo. Zoom in on one aspect that really draws your attention and play around with it. I had fun with this. If I did it again, it would be different. And it's my interpretation of this photo. It's not exact. I love painting with pastels and colors. I love the layering. Please visit my website, get in touch with me if you have any questions, and meanwhile, you get painting too. And stay dusty, my friends.